Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we are specifically going to talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark and what it means to Dungeons & Dragons. I was incredibly fortunate, and I am literally driving home right now from seeing Raiders of the Lost Ark on the big screen on a Phantom event. So, I had a good friend who said, "Hey, let's go check out Raiders of the Lost Ark on the big screen," and he's a classic movie buff, and but I'm just a movie buff, right? So I was like, bet, I'm in, right? So I went, and what really astounded me was, it was a great night. We watched the movie on the big screen, and he just wanted to see it. It was out on Phantom Events. He didn't even understand why it's on Phantom Events. The reason why it's on Phantom Events is we're getting Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on June 30th, right? So this was as a celebration of that, right? And to allow people to get ready for that. So my plan is to watch, I already watched the first one on the big screen. I'm going to watch 2, 3, and 4 on Disney Plus, which I have, so I can watch all the movies for free. And that'll get me ready to watch Dial of Destiny, which will be fantastic, right? So I was watching this, and one thing that really struck that my takeaway, my Dungeons & Dragons takeaway from one of my Dungeons & Dragons takeaways from watching this movie is one-on-one D&D should be bigger than it is, right? So everybody, if you play solo tabletop role-playing games, you suck and you need to quit. It's terrible for you. It's terrible for society. No one should play D&D alone. It is, honestly, in my opinion, it's spitting on Gary's grave. It's so horrible. Do not play D&D alone. All right, now, I am incredibly blessed right now to be running a 4 to 6 player weekly FLGS Dungeons & Dragons game. I'm so excited. It's going great. But when I started it, I actually thought I was going to be running one-on-one Dungeons & Dragons. And actually, I do think we should really think more about one-on-one Dungeons & Dragons. And if you ever want to do it, or if you're in a position where you can do it, and I will tell you right now, you're better off running a one-on-one physical table Dungeons & Dragons game than you would be a 4-player stream game, right? I do not want to see anyone playing solo D&D or any solo TTRPG. It's wrong for you. It's wrong for society. Stop doing it. I also very much want to see Dungeons & Dragons one-on-one play, Dungeons & Dragons 1 DM 2 players, and Dungeons & Dragons 1 DM and 3 players, and all. I really want to see those lower groups grow. And if you do it, especially if you do one-on-one D&D, Raiders of the Lost Ark is perfect. I just watched this film. So I sat down with my buddy who asked me to go see it with him, and we had a robust discussion about the movie after the movie. And I really and one of the great things about seeing something on the big screen is it really lets you focus on it, right? Like, it's uninterrupted. Theaters are constructed to give full attention to something. They really are temples to attention. And that's the best way to think about a theater. And what really blew me away about Raiders of the Lost Ark is Indy is a solo hero. In this movie, he truly is a solo hero. And honestly, I think the more you think about Indy, he really is a solo hero. He has some people who come in and aid him here and there, but he does not adventure as a team, with a team, right? So, of course, Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford is Han Solo. And we were talking about the Star Wars movies, and the Star Wars movies, those are parties, right? That is a party-focused film, right? It is a party of adventurers, right? And they will go off and they will split the party, right? But they always return, and there's always a celebration when they return, right? And the reality is that's just not the case. Like, at the end of the film, right? Gimli, and Sala is played by the gentleman who played Gimli, right? So Sala says, "Indy, I know where the Ark is, and you can go get it right now." And Salah's like, hey, good luck. Like, and Indy jumps on a horse, and Mary and also Indy's like, hey, like, this is 1981, right? 120-pound woman is not going to go on an adventure and punch people in the face and, like, do combat, right? Like, it's just like, this is a 1981 movie, like a 121-pound, monster combatants didn't exist. They exist today, female combatants. They exist today. It's a thing. Like, but this is just that. And so Indy's like, hey, Marianne, you stay here. You stay safe. And Salah's like, off you go, Indy, right? And Indiana Jones gets on a horse, right, and follows 30 Nazis on a horse, just tracks them down and is like, I have a pistol and a whip. I'm going to defeat 30 Nazis who are fully armed with a military truck, a vehicle, a motorized vehicle of their own, and a pursuit vehicle. Like, you're like, what? Like, and you look at it and you're like, and I absolutely love this, right? Because this is D&D at its best, right? And what really, what I think, what really gets me, like, we have so much to fix with Dungeons and Dragons, right? And so what are the things we have to fix, right? People are like, oh, like, you got to make sure the encounter's balanced. It's Indy and 30 Nazis. Like, this is not even remotely balanced, right? This is a hero, and the hero is good, and the villains are evil. The hero will win because good triumphs over evil. And we can tell this story in Dungeons and Dragons, right? And Raiders of the Lost Ark, if you watch it, right, you will see that you can absolutely have one person playing a Dungeons and Dragons hero, and you are going to make sure that they have inspiration constantly. You are going to, make sure that when they, you can give them extra powers quickly. You can let them level very quickly. Clearly, Indiana Jones is leveling ridiculously fast through these movies, right? Session per, like, I think at the beginning of Indiana Jones, Indy is starting at level 5. By the end of Indiana Jones, he's level 10, right? So, like, literally a level per session, right? And to be clear, that I do that in my games. It's pretty much a level per session. Sometimes it's even faster leveling than one level per session. It's not uncommon for people to get 2 levels in a session when we play, right? And this is Indiana Jones Raider of the Lost Ark pace. And I think it's brilliant. And I really think if you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, look at that film and look at the structure of how Indy wrecks, right? And you say, this is 101 D&D. I can do this. I can make it fast. I can make it super joyful. I can make this work, right? And it does work. It just works, dude. I absolutely love this film. And I think it's a perfect template for one-on-one Dungeons & Dragons. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.